Welcome back to the Back Nine coverage of the first round of the Green Mountain Championship. This is our third to last Pro Tour of the year, and the point standings are getting tight. My name is Paige Pierce.
I'm Missy Gannon.
Thank you to DISCRAFT and GKPRO for this awesome coverage, following the women all year long. After the front nine, we saw Hailey King shooting hot at 3 under, Catrina at 1 under, and Sarah Hokom and myself at even par. We also saw Kona Panis already in the clubhouse at even par. And we're fighting for that feature card spot in round 2. We got 9 holes left to get some birdies.
Look at this beautiful place. It's so awesome. And 2 courses that we play are so different, but have some similar challenges. Just love seeing that contrast in gameplay. Like you said, the leaderboard here, you know, scores are pretty tight, and that's what wooded courses do out here. Definitely nice to see some under par scores. And going into hole 10, it's 405 feet. Par 3 plays pretty downhill. Feels kind of wide open compared to the last few holes that we played. Yeah,
most open hole on the course.
Yeah, there's really just that right tree that we passed just a little while ago that you don't want to turn over into, and then just try to avoid those left side trees. Like I said, pretty open relative to the last few holes. I think we'll see some big shots here.
This is Hailey with her stalker. She told me she is trying to challenge that tree on the right, just going under it so she can get enough distance. You kind of saw her body language trying to tell it to get there. She said that was how she was getting the farthest up there. So Cat now with a mid. This is an interesting play for sure because you don't want it to hyzer off left. So I see the draw for the mid-range, but it's so hard to get enough distance on it with a mid. So Catrina a little outside the circle, almost at circle 2, but it did have a good flight on it.
Yeah, I mean, being 405 feet downhill, it definitely plays shorter, but it's still quite a ways away. I mean, it probably only plays like 25 feet shorter. You know, it's not super downhill.
Also, you have to get your nose angle pretty perfect.
Right.
If it's still hyzering, you know, when it's like 100 feet from the basket, you're going to be so far left. And that's kind of the risk I'm bringing into my play on this one. I'm throwing my Raptor, trying to put it on a severe turn and hoping it's going to fight that going downhill. And just kind of a slip on the tee pad sends it nose up, and I'm going to be way down to the left.
Yeah, no real OB to speak of on this hole. Yeah, having the basket nestled in those trees down there is kind of a nice extra touch to this hole.
It's a beautiful green. So I don't really have a look at this, so I'm just going to put one up to the left side to give myself an unobstructed par putt.
Cat downhill. Good effort. She will be settling for a par, though.
Hailey from just outside the circle, looks like.
Nice.
Didn't even step it in, just right in the center. Perfect speed. She's not even excited. She knew that one was in.
Just trying to keep a level head.
She's going to move up to 4 under and have a 3-shot lead going into maybe the hardest tee shot on the course.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree, because I think it poses a few different options, but they're also like critical to land in the fairway. And by options, I mean you can go full flex shot to try to get as far down this winding fairway as possible, or you can choose to, you know, try to lay up to about this area to give yourself a longer but more open look to the basket. So playing at 615 feet, hole 11 is a par 4. And like I said, it just kind of depends on how aggressive you want to get off the tee. It is a specific shot, a full flex distance shot, or maybe a nice touch sidearm to get you in the open.
Hailey's going with a stalker here. Pretty neutral flying fairway driver. She's looking to put a little turn on it and get that glide. She misses the gap entirely to the right, but it squeaks through somehow and gets actually quite a ways down there on the left side.
Yeah.
She's over halfway to the basket. Catrina now with her stable fairway. Beautiful turn on it, and it's still turning. If it can hook up, and get the skip. This is farther than I've ever seen a throw on this hole. Men, woman, and pro, anyone. That
was me down by the green there. I was like, whoa.
Like, that was from the tee pad?
Yeah.
Sarah Hokom now with the sidearm play. The sidearm looks like it's a good shot, but when it's hyzering, it's not getting as much distance as the flex backhand. So she's going to find herself quite a bit shorter, and she did put a little too much turn on it. So she's going to be on the left side. This is my soul here. I'm trying to hug the left side of that tree line and get that late flip.
It's trying for sure.
Yeah, and it's turning nicely, but hits the last tree. But not a bad kick, honestly. It could have kicked me far.
Yeah, as long as you don't find yourself way to the left in the woods or way to the right, you're going to have something to work with. It just depends on how aggressive you're able to get and whether or not the birdie is out of question or still in play.
Hokom gets down past the basket. Beautiful drive. Second shot there.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
And that was a sidearm with my Undertaker, just trying to get that turn with the glide. And I get a skip. I'm going to be on the backside just outside the circle.
Yeah, and Hailey finds herself on that left side. There is a tunnel if you get far enough down the fairway that she happened to find herself in. So that was pretty fortunate.
Another fortunate shot there, too. She was going to be about 50 feet deep, but clips that tree. Yep. Wow, so 2 lucky shots, and she's looking at a birdie putt.
Yeah.
Just trying to lay it up.
Catrina doesn't quite get around the last guardian tree, but she's still inside the circle. She's probably at like 28 feet or so.
Just a little short from Sarah.
It's a little bit left. Cat actually sitting up over the basket. Doesn't compensate for that and misses high.
Yeah.
So Hailey will have the lone birdie putt. And solid. She's up to 5 under. The 4-stroke lead currently.
Yeah, man,
that was almost an eagle range.
That's amazing.
Unfortunate par from that drive, but nonetheless, a par is great on this hole. It's tough to be carding pars on these holes and losing strokes.
Yeah. Yeah, Hailey's definitely
killing it out here.
Not making it easy for anybody else. And sitting at 5 down, she has to know that she doesn't even have to look at the scores, I don't think. But hole 12, 360 feet, par 3, plays downhill. Pretty straight shot, and you're just trying to miss these last few trees, which is very difficult to do. And you can see all these little boulders and rocks. You know, you just never really know what you're going to get. But as long as you don't hyzer off to the left or turn one over to the right side, just try to throw something nice and flat.
Ooh, Hailey thought about a sidearm here. She ends up going buzz backhand and lets it go a little too high and hyzered. She's going to find herself outside circle 2 on the left side. It is close to the basket, but there are so many small trees and branches over there.
Yeah.
Cat going with that M2 again.
Basically, if you're aiming at that lighter tree right in the middle of the screen, down towards the green, if you're hyzering in just before that tree, you're looking like you're going to be pretty close to the basket. Cat just comes up a bit short, especially hitting those branches early, so she is outside circle 2.
Hokom with a pretty turnover. Just a little bit early, but wow.
What?
Gets a very fortunate kick to pin high. 15 feet right.
Yeah.
This is my Big Z Fierce, and I love it out of my hand. And I hit the very last tree. It was perfect speed control and everything, but I'll still have a 34-foot putt. So look at this. Hailey has close to nothing, but she gets enough spin on the disc where it kind of gets through those branches.
Cat also pretty obstructed, decides to lay up.
I couldn't decide if I wanted to stand still or step putt it, so my timing was really off on that one. Miss it to the right.
All right, let's see if Hailey can keep that scramble percentage up.
She does. Good par save from about 28 feet. And Hokom, we'll see if she can capitalize on that fortunate kick.
Yep. She knows. She said, I didn't get there.
Yeah, she said, thank you to whatever tree sent me over here. About a 25-footer to save par. I was happy to hit that one.
Par as well for Cat.
Right, leaderboard check-in. Hailey King, like we said, 5 under through 12 holes. She's got a 4-shot lead over Hokom and Catrina. And we got a 3-way tie for 4th place, trying to fight our way onto that feature card between myself, Jessica Weiss, and Kona Panis. And then Alex Benson, a local, only 2 over par.
Yeah, and I had a local on my card as well, doing pretty well. But hole 13, 565 feet, par 4, veers off to the right after those trees that we just passed by, and then really tapers off and narrows in at this green. It takes 2 very, very skilled shots to get the birdie on this hole, and another one of those holes that par feels really good, but birdie feels like you earned it for sure.
The sidearm play, you want to kind of hug that back tree line where Sarah's headed. If you hyzer it too early around that tree, you're going to be on the right side, and you have little to nothing from there. So Hokom with a great position right there.
Yeah, that was perfect. You want to land on that gravel path.
Hailey now going with her Onyx. Pulls it a little bit wide, and she's going to kick to the right, short of the initial gap. Cat opting for the backhand play here.
Looking for some late flip.
Oh,
Looks
yeah.
great.
Beautiful shot. A little bit short of where Hokom is, but they're in such similar positions that we should see at least one of them go for this screen. This is my Soul going with the hyzer flip up the left side. Trying to aim it at that little red point you see over there.
The spotter.
Yeah, but you couldn't even tell.
That's so funny. Well, you...
Yeah, just didn't quite turn enough.
Yeah.
Coming downhill, it kind of kept that hyzer angle. Hailey going with the Crystal Raptor.
Get around it.
She goes through the V. She let that one go early, but got fortunate to get through that gap, and she's going to be in the center.
Oh, just an early release from Cat.
She did get far enough into the gap, though, that she should be able to get up and down. If you don't get too far into that gap, you're looking at an instant bogey.
Yeah. You could just tell, though, she knew she was set up so well, and, you know, those mistakes happen sometimes.
Hailey going with the Ringer GT here. It's very overstable, so I'm not quite sure that was the right decision. I feel like if I'm Hailey in that spot, I'm just laying up to just across the bridge and trying to take my medicine, but she's going to find herself down in that little ditch.
Oh, yeah.
And Hokom gets herself into the green, almost onto the mulch. 2 beautiful shots.
Yeah.
So I had nothing pitched out to here, and I just have about a 150-foot shot with my Crystal Fierce to go.
Okay. I thought that was going in for
I did
sure.
too. A little bit too high. I'm going to skid to about 25 feet deep, but right on line. Hailey's super tucked into these woods down here. What a beautiful
Nice.
throw. She's going to be pin high, 15 right.
For the bogey, but, you know.
That could have been a double.
Yeah.
Easily. That was such a difficult shot. Wow. So test her to save par here.
Nice.
And I believe this is going to be Hailey's first bogey of the round.
I was going to say, I don't think she's had a blemish yet. Which is crazy. I mean, like, the amount of times she's had to scramble and how many times she's done it successfully, you know, it just shows on her scorecard.
And Hokom for the solo birdie.
I practice a lot. It's a vice. An escape from stress, from work. It's my chance to just get away during the week. It's like meeting up with an old friend, you know? I'll never get tired of that sound.
In the morning.
Birdie Fuel Coffee. Oh,
He took the cup. Where's he going with the cup? That's the cup.
took the cup.
birdiefuelcoffee.com.
All right, hole 14, 255 feet, par 3, plays uphill. Another very reachable hole for many of us. It is typically you're going to see a backhand, straightish hyzer shot that's just going to gently fade into this gap right here. Again, another one that a lot of us are looking to capitalize on. No OB to speak of. If you do hyzer out by the basket a little bit too much to the left, there is a ravine that can get tricky.
Hokom going with the very challenging hyzer flip to flat through that smallest gap on the hole.
Perfect.
Beautiful shot. Cat going with a wide gap, but kind of slides on the tee, sending it to an early release. It's going to be outside circle 2. Going with a buzz here up the right side. I'm not really trying to hyzer it. I'm just trying to throw it flat and let it hyzer out on its own when it loses speed.
Yeah, uphill. Nice straight shots tend to have some natural hyzer, and that was perfect.
Hailey going with the onyx here. That right gap also, but she's going with the more stable disc a little bit lower, trying to get that skip.
Yep.
So Kat's having to step out and go sidearm and hyzer into the green. The rest of us will have birdie putts from about 15 feet.
And that was to go 3 for 3 on the last 3 holes. So Sarah tightening the gap between her and Hailey. Hailey, though, keeping pace, getting herself back to 5 down, negating that last bogey. Yeah, 3 birdies, 1 par. That was a great, great run by you guys. And going into hole 15, 395 feet, par 3, we are teeing from out of bounds. So you have to get past this rock wall. It's a pretty tight gap. And being 395 but slightly downhill, especially once you get to this point, it is reachable for many of us, but you really have to commit to that tee shot and hit that initial gap. Any tree kicks could send you flying out of bounds. Yeah, this gap is pretty small.
Hokom finds herself safe. She does early release it, and it kind of rides that left side, but she is going to be safe. That's definitely the #1 objective, just not to take the OB stroke and move to that challenging drop zone.
Yeah, the drop zone is very challenging, like you said.
This is my Raptor here. Just pulled it a little bit wide, and I'm going to be moving to the drop zone. Hailey with a 2-stroke lead here, needs this one to stay safe. And late releases it, but it finds a tiny little gap and gets lucky, and she will be safe.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to keep those pars going or birdies, but especially on this hole, par feels just fine. Ooh.
Cat just a tiny bit wide. Looks like she slipped again. She will be joining me at this drop zone.
Yeah.
Still a very tough shot from
so
here.
tough. You need a hyzer shot, but it needs to glide and stay in the air to get all the way left to the pin.
That's my big Z Fierce. Catrina goes also with a putter, but she pulls it a little bit inside. Oh, that was a beautiful shot.
Mm-hmm.
Another ultimate looking throw.
Yeah.
And Hokom here opting for the backhand. I was surprised by this. I thought she would just go step out, sidearm, and hyzer.
Mm-hmm.
But she makes good work of it. She gets the backhand to skip even into the green.
Mm-hmm. This is Kat's 4th shot after the OB stroke. Good par from Hailey. You'll be picking up that bogey, which is, you know, best case from the drop zone.
Yeah, I felt good about it.
Ugh.
And Kat just can't quite get it high enough to get over the rim. She'll take a triple bogey. That moves her up to over par.
Sarah also looking at a par putt, so keeping pace with Hailey. 2 shots behind.
Leaderboard check-in. Hailey definitely still leading with Hokom close behind, but Catrina is the real movement here. She just moved to 2 over, so Kona and Jessica Weiss have now jumped her and are fighting for that lead card spot. Kat does still have 3 holes left though, so if she can card a couple birdies, she might be able to make it happen.
Yeah, and hole 16 at 380 feet, par 3, it does play severely downhill. We are way elevated on the tee pad. And so, you know, you can absolutely get a mid-range to this basket on a backhand, just something that's going to hold straight with that nice turn at the end. Also, definitely a sidearm hole as well, because there is OB all along the left side, and then a lot of stick trees on the right side.
Hokom's going with the sidearm. Nice and wide. And gets that really stable finish. Wow, it looked like it almost skipped in, and she's going to be almost on the mulch. Hailey now going with her Onyx.
Oh, no.
And a late release there, but she does get a fortunate kick to the right, so she will not be OB, but she's going to be quite a ways back and a difficult angle into the green from there. This is my soul, just trying to get that late flip down the hill. Little bit too wide for my liking, but it does stay safe. Pin high, about 55 feet to the left. Catrina with a mid, going for that drifty left to right flight. Oh, and gets a sweet skip off a rock or a root.
Yeah.
Kicks it that extra 20 feet to be under the basket.
Hailey from way up the hill, having to throw
Avenger SS.
Oh, wow. No way. It climbed over the hill, or over the wall.
That's the second error she's had with that Avenger SS. Just 2 turned both times. Gets a cut roller both times, and this time finding her out of bounds. I was stoked to see a clear look at the basket. Oh, just a tiny bit too much hyzer.
Great effort. Kat just pinning the basket.
Hailey's left with this for double.
Yep.
Makes it look easy, though. Sometimes double bogey putts are nerve-wracking. You're just trying to get off the hole with as little damage as possible.
Yeah. And right there, we see the lead swing into Sarah's favor with a great birdie.
Can happen quick at Brewster.
Yep. But we only have 2 holes to play, so hole 17 being 545 feet, a par 4. The main objective here is to get past this ravine that we're flying over right now. So you have to throw a pretty good distance shot that's going to get enough distance to land you right about here, which would be a perfect shot to give you the easiest approach to the basket. It's definitely a difficult task, especially for a sidearm. I'm very interested to see this shot. She needs a flex that's going to come back.
And overturned it. You saw that new graphic from GKPRO. Bushnell radar gun clocked it at 51 miles an hour.
Nice.
Little bit too fast for the angle she put on it.
Yeah.
Makes it go on that left side. Cat with a 52 mile an hour backhand. Gets a nice little kiss down off of that branch, and she's going to be in the center of the fairway. She's looking at it relatively simple birdie, actually. I'm opting to go with a fairway here. This is my Raptor. And just trying to throw it low and fast, but kind of turn it over a little bit too much. And I'm going to be pretty similar position to Sarah. Hailey with the force here. She's trying to get everything she can get and get around the corner.
58 mile an hour, just a little bit too late of a release. Ends up kicking left.
Having to go Onyx, sidearm, Anheuser. She's got the shot down. Ooh, but a little too wide this time. And maybe a bad decision from my personal opinion. I think I would have laid up to that road and just gone with a more straight on look at it. Trying to round that corner kind of got her in some trouble. She's going to have to scramble from there.
Oh, yeah, and even Hokom there, just not enough turn, ends up going long. She's going to have a difficult putt, if at all. I think she's going to have to pitch up.
A little bit too wide out of my hand. I was scared of hitting my hand on that tree in my backswing. Ooh, and Hailey finds this gap right here. What? Wow. Scramble golf. She is on fire scrambling.
Yep.
She's got herself about a 20-foot putt to save par.
Oh, no.
Oh, and another drive that I wish we could have seen a better approach on from Catrina. Just legendary drive.
But, I mean, she almost put it in for three there.
She did, right off the mulch.
Hit off the cage.
She's probably honestly finding herself in positions she's never seen in practice.
Yeah, maybe.
With those two drives, I'm guessing she's never even practiced approaching from there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, Sarah was able to at least make it through those trees.
Hailey to save par.
Come on.
All right.
That's right, Hailey. Yeah, just hang on here.
Got one hole left.
Yep.
Nothing to hang your head about. I thought about talking to her right there in this moment. She's just hanging her head and just thinking like, come on, dude, you got a great round.
Yeah.
Even if you bogey 18, like it's a great round.
Yep.
Hold your head high.
All right, 18, 345-foot par 3. Pretty flat the whole way. You know, no real elevation to speak of. It's going to be either a very straight backhand on this right side or even a flex shot if you need that extra distance being at 345. I imagine we're going to see a forehand from Sarah. So she might be playing to the left of that middle bush.
That bush is just so perfectly placed. Yeah. It's so easy to hit that bush. And
yeah. You could see the basket from this camera angle, but you can't when you're on the tee pad.
Yeah.
Because of that bush.
And she put that one way too low and too right. She actually asked for it not to skip because she thought it was going to skip into the woods. But it actually skipped like 2 or 3 times, and she's past that bush.
A little higher, and that could have gotten over the bush. I imagine she was trying to flex it a little bit more around to the right side.
And I'm coming from the left side of the tee pad, trying to open up the gap a little bit more. I am trying to hit that right side. Just a little bit too turned over and low.
Hailey with looks like a Zeus in her hand, so she's definitely trying to get a big flex shot. Going high, I wonder if that was the plan, but she is a left side, maybe just short of pin high.
Yeah, circle 2.
Yeah. You're just having to go over the bush, which is the story of so many.
Yeah, a little too soft. I'm going to leave myself just outside the or just inside the circle. And Hokom has a birdie putt. Woo!
I mean, she's outside circle too, but she definitely tried to make that birdie.
And Hailey's drive actually got all the way to pin high, but she is outside the circle.
She have a zone in her hand?
It is a crazy tough challenger, but it's stamped with a zone.
Like,
and this putt is to keep me on the feature card. I checked scores right before it to see what was going on. Put a little bit more pressure on me, but I saw that Kona and Jessica were tied, so if I missed that, I'm not on the lead card.
They're tapping out a par, as well as Hailey.
Some great rounds put together by those two.
Yeah.
Scramble machines.
Yeah. Hailey getting it done on the front, and Sarah just coming back on the back.
So we're also going to see Kona Panis, who shot that even par, joining us on the feature card in round 2. Jessica Weiss is also tied with us for that 3rd spot, but by her PDJ number, she will be on that chase card with Catrina and Alex Benson. So make sure you guys tune in to round 2 coverage. We're going to be at a whole new course, Fox Run. This one is going to challenge our distance and our control on keeping it in bounds. So make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll see you on the next round.